Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video tutorial on our current costume design challenge. I'm going to start today's video by reviewing content from last time. So our current project is to create a figure that has a specific costume on it using visual textures. The figure should be proportionally accurate and have visual texture, which is basically the illusion of physical texture, but obviously in a two-dimensional artwork. We looked at different examples of different visual textures, which include animal, insect, plant, and environment. Your assignment yesterday was to draw examples of each of these patterns, 3 at least of each, and a total of 12 different visual textures. So today we're going to be starting to talk about gesture drawing. Gesture drawing is when you draw a person in a specific position as accurately as possible. Today we're going to start by drawing just one figure, which is standing still as modeled on the right red figure. You're going to go through a progression of steps, first starting on the left with the head, spine, shoulders, and hips, then adding the arms and the legs, and then adding some thickness. So when you're drawing, you want to think about these key proportions for your figure. First, the figure's total height should be 8 heads tall. Your femur and spine should be equal to each other, and the progression of body parts should be shoulder, elbows, hips, hands, and then knees. Please use this following video as a resource when completing your figure drawings today. Today I'm going to be giving a demonstration on how to draw a proportionally accurate figure. The figures you're drawing today are going to have some key proportions. One is the total height of your figure should be 8 heads tall. So you can notice that I've drawn 8 heads from the foot to the top of the head to represent the proportion of the height. Another thing you're going to want to make sure you do is make sure that the spine and the femur is equal to each other. So this measurement is again equal. And another thing to keep in mind is the progression of body parts goes shoulder, elbow, hips, hands, and knees. So now we're going to try our own from scratch. So the first step is to make sure that you're drawing vertically on your page and draw your person's head at the top. Start with several soft ovals until you get about the right size and the right one that you want. Then you're going to be putting a vertical line at the bottom of that circle. Notice how I have kind of almost like a lollipop-like shape here. Next, you're going to be drawing 2 vertical lines. These vertical lines represent the shoulder and the hips. So head, neck, shoulder, spine, hips here. The next step is to draw the spine equal to the femur. So my proportions, if I'm measuring these correctly, should be equal to here. So this is the hip to the knee. Then the legs continue, and the length of this is equal to the length of that. Now at first glance, that might seem really elongated and not quite right, but just trust me and keep working. Next, you're going to be drawing the arms. I like to draw circles where different joints or rotations should be. So there's some circles on the knees and the shoulders. And I'm going to be drawing some vertical lines down. And this represents the bicep or tricep. Here's the elbows, not the hands. Notice that the elbows are above the hip. And then the forearms drop down below the hips here. Okay? So I have my order of shoulder, elbows, hips, hands, and knees. If it's too short, you're going to look like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. If you're too long, you're going to look like a chimpanzee. Now, at this point, your person still might look pretty skinny and elongated. So what you're going to do is start adding some muscle or some other masses to your figure. I usually start by adding some lines here from the armpit to shoulder here, and then adding, again, a little bit of muscle with the neck, however you want your figure to be. And then you're going to be adding a little bit of muscle or thickness for the arms as well. Okay, you also want to add a little bit of thickness on the legs, but notice how I'm adding muscle mostly on the inside and not the outside. If I put it on the outside, my person could look like they're going to scale a squat house, which you don't want. So make sure that the muscle is primarily on the inside of the leg. draw your calf muscle, and then you can draw your feet in. So right there is a basic figure. Now let's say you want someone who's much more muscular. Well, you can certainly do that. You can add bigger shoulders, bigger biceps and triceps, bigger forearms, and kind of add the muscle how you want to emphasize that. Let's say you want your person to be more obese, then you can draw some more shapes like that. Let's say you want your person to look a little bit more traditionally masculine, then you make these shoulders a little bit wider and your person has more of a V back shape or a little bit broad. Let's say you want your person to have more of a feminine physique, then you want your shoulders to be much more narrow and your hips to be equal with that. So it kind of depends on your style of your figure. But no matter what figure you draw, they should all start with this concept. Again, 4 heads from the top of the head to the waist, 4 heads from the waist to the feet, total of 8 heads tall, shoulders and hips being parallel, and spine and femur being equal. If you do that, you can't go wrong. Feel free to watch that last part of the video multiple times, rewinding it, pausing while you're doing your drawing. Remember, you only have to do one figure drawing that is standing still. That's step 1 here. You don't have to do step 2 or 3. That'll be for tomorrow. Once you're done drawing your single standing still figure, please complete the daily participation form, taking a photo of your drawing and uploading it to this upload. So that does it for another video tutorial on our current costume design challenge. If you have any questions, please email me or stop in on office hours every Tuesday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Work hard, have fun, and as always, be creative.